Hi, this is Scott Holstad, poet, writer, author, and I'm doing another video in which I'm going to read some of my work. I'm trying to improve on the sound, the audio. I'm soft-spoken except when it comes to politics and sports. And the microphones and the various devices I've been using not that powerful, so I'm trying to speak up, and we'll see how that works. And I started doing these videos 2 or 3 weeks ago in celebration of and support of a new book of poems that was published October 15th this year, 2025. Very excited about it. Surviving Immortality Again, Scott C. Holstad. This is my first new book of poems in years, long time. And I've had a lot of books published during my career. Been around a long time. And appeared in a lot of publications, journals, etc. But even though I've been getting a lot of stuff published over the past few years, again, this is my first solo book in quite a while. I've been in anthologies and textbooks and various things, collaborations, but this was published by Alien Buddha Press, and it's available on Amazon in 132-page paperback, very, very nice quality, very good production quality. 90 poems, $12.99, pretty good deal for that many. I just completed a video where I read 2 more poems from this, but I've been doing some other things too, because why read from the same book, right? And I have a lot of different interests and a lot of different things that I write about and whatnot. I've mostly been sticking to poems and short stories for the time being. One of the things that means something to me is older work and older journals and publications, many of which were great, many of which are defunct now. And on my website, hankrules2011.com, I have a webpage devoted to a curated set of 200 active journal links and about 100 almost really great, sorely missed, defunct journals. So often I'll reference those or read from those. And I'm going to read 2 really old poems from mine today, but not from a defunct journal. It's still going, I believe. It's the Wisconsin Review. And this is from 1992. Yeah, I wrote these poems probably around 1991. And I wrote them back when I was doing a lot of reading and being heavily influenced by particularly Lawrence Ferlinghetti, as well as Bukowski and Ginsberg and others, Kenneth Patchen. And in fact, that was mentioned in some reviews that were published back then. And I think if you're familiar with the style and form often used, particularly in the Coney Island of the Mind, but others, you'll recognize some similarities. I was fortunate enough to get to meet and know Ferlinghetti for a number of years. Got to hang out with him in his office. He signed a ton of his books for me. I signed a few for him, which I know that he, prior to his demise, donated at least some to the UC Santa Cruz Special Collections Library of mine. But I miss him a lot, and one of these poems two of these poems really, but one sort of looks in form like you might expect to see in A Coney Island of Mine and several of his other books. Whether they, come close in quality, that's debatable. But I think these are some of my better poems, even though they're old. The first one I'm going to read actually is in the new book. I don't think it was ever in any of my books at all. And it's titled Deathbeat. The other is titled Tremors of Life. And I'll just go ahead and go. Deathbeat. Someone said suffer, and images run rampant through the mind of the sleeping dead in their cardboard boxes, in the whores on Van Buren selling their souls piece by piece, in their fantastic nightmarish beauty, walking wounded, legs spread, gaping holes, seeping life and death, and the guns, always the guns in cars, bars, schools, homes, and people milling about, trapped in cyclical lives and lies, getting fucked, killing themselves off systematically and dreaming of peace and compassion, while the stench of rotting meat permeates the thought that our bodies are betraying our minds. Deathbeat. I believe that's in my new book. Tremors of Life. This is honestly one of my very favorites, and it was recently republished by a journal this year. And it's got a similar cadence, but a different theme from the previous poem. Yes, you're welcome. Tremors of Life. One day not too long ago, I went coffee housing and noticed no things altogether too unusual except what looked like about 137 people sitting and sucking down liquids of various shapes and sizes, colors and dimensions, all talking and laughing and dying and crying out for love and attention to detail of their distinctly different lives. And they didn't seem perhaps to notice whether the weather was cold and dark and exciting and damp, or just blue and warm and lackadaisical in content, but they ate and smoked and chewed and winked and read and dreamed their collective dreams of contentment and prosperity. When I later left the premises, I went home to ponder life as we know it and live it and want it to be, and slept soundly on that note. Tremors of Life. Thank you very much for allowing me to read those. My name is Scott Holstad, Scott C. Holstad. Feel free to comment, feel free to like, subscribe, share, follow. I'm all over the place. If you search, you'll find me. My website is hankrules2011.com. Today's Halloween 2025. I hope everybody has a good holiday and a good weekend. I'll catch you next time.